You are not your thoughts. Most of us feel that the voice inside our heads is us talking. But that's not necessarily the case. And that's why you have often conflicting thoughts. People say that it's impossible to hold opposing thoughts in your head simultaneously. Those people are not very self-aware. You are not only capable of that, you are mostly a victim of that most of the time. Your brain is constantly scanning your surroundings for reasons as to why you shouldn't be in danger. And it creates these stories in the form of your voice. It's almost as if there are parts of your brain who are impersonating you, which is why it's so convincing. You hear your voice in your head, so you assume these are my thoughts on this. Not necessarily. You see, there's a play in your head. Every day, every night, multiple actors come on stage and they battle each other. One of those actors might be playing fear, someone else is playing ego and bravado, someone else is playing a representation of your childhood and what you felt in relation to your parents and your relatives when you were small. Someone else is playing the executive, the person who takes care of business, the person who makes strategic decisions. Someone else might be playing the artist, the hippie, the person who just wants to mess around. How are these not opposing thoughts? They are. These are the voices that battle each other for more holidays and more money and more work, more free time. More family time, but also more responsibility. More love, but more isolation. More attention, but more independence. We all feel these things. And that play in your head is what makes it so difficult to make decisions. The first step is to acknowledge that you have that play in your head. The first step is to realize and acknowledge and accept and respect the fact that your thoughts are not you. You are one of them. Your notion of self is there, in the middle, trying to find the answers. All these other voices, however, they play a different role. They are options. The problem is when we feel like those voices are directly attached to our notion of self, and we are not capable of separating them from who we are and who we can be. Then we get stuck because we get confused and overwhelmed, and we maybe even question our own sanity. The way you should look at this is very simple. Those voices are multiple different scenarios. They provide you with the information as to what would happen if you were to listen to them. So let's say, for example, you are in a relationship and you have a fear of abandonment. So maybe you react badly whenever your partner needs some time alone. Quite simply, what you need to do is to listen to that voice as if it's someone else, and then advise that voice. If that voice is telling you like, no, she can't go out, I don't like this, I feel really strange about it all. Okay, listen to that voice as if it were a friend. And that friend is stressed out, maybe a bit jealous, maybe a bit insecure. But talk to that friend. Don't assume that your friend's voices are your own voice. Instead, listen and then advise. You will almost immediately be able to discuss those ideas with yourself and find some sort of common ground, some sort of calming place inside yourself. That conversation can go as simply as this. Why are you jealous? Why are you insecure? Why are you fearful of abandonment? And then you might realize that this has nothing to do with that person. Or maybe it does. Maybe this person has hurt you in the past. Maybe you need to move on. Maybe you guys need to talk. Maybe you need to talk. But what's really important is that you understand that all these actors are not against you. They are not necessarily an enemy, but rather your brain's ability and skill to generate all these different scenarios that allow you to see your world, your life, your reality, the future, through different channels, different lenses. And that's something that humans are incredibly skilled at doing. The problem is that sometimes we are not aware that we are doing that. And we are not educated when it comes to the way the brain operates and works out reality. Maybe you've heard the expression, perception is reality. But maybe you didn't really dig deep enough into what that sentence means. Fundamentally, your voices can manifest themselves in reality by means of perception. If you don't separate yourself from those voices, if you don't acknowledge that this is just a play in your head that's trying to work out how you can command and maneuver your reality, then you'll get stuck in your head. That's the other expression, isn't it? Get out of your own head. You see, popular wisdom is quite useful. The issue is that we often overlook it. These popular sayings, these expressions, these proverbs, they're very powerful. If I were you, I would listen. And I would ask questions. And I don't mean rhetorical questions. I mean questions that need an answer. And ask those voices questions. You'll be surprised by how quickly they will give an answer. And also how quickly they lose that power over you. Once you see them for what they are, actors, playing characters, then you'll realize that this is just fiction. None of it needs to be real up until you act it out. All those voices can manifest themselves. That's fine. They only become real the moment you act on them. The moment that you too embrace the character they are playing. And that's your choice. Because you get to choose how you think and how you think about what you think. And you definitely get to choose how you act on it. Good luck.